And let's get on to the team selector, the real business, and I suppose goalkeeper I can pick Alisson Becker for that one. Doyley, what about the back four? Looking at the same as what Liverpool fielded against Norwich?
I think it has to be, doesn't it? I think we've seen Joe Gomez missed a bit of training this week, although he's back, but I think he's got a fair bit to go, I think, before he starts starting games. Konate, he's somebody who's just new into the team, and I think they're going to try and ease him in possibly after the international break. And Virgil van Dijk is shown against Norwich that, what was he, at 75%, do you reckon? Something like that. And Joel Matip is the number one centre-back at the moment, purely because he's probably the fittest one out of the whole lot, although he was injured. It was easy to forget that, wasn't it? The game against Norwich, he'd been out for so long. And so you've got Matip, Van Dijk, Trent and Tsimikas. Yeah,
what do you reckon with that, Gorst? Are you going along with the same thing? And I suppose for Van Dijk, it's about sort of getting up to speed ahead of Chelsea.
Yeah, I think so. Be difficult to chop and change your centre-backs for this one, wouldn't it? I think Van Dijk is Van Dijk. You leave him in the team and just get him up to speed. And Matip was fantastic, I thought, against Norwich, actually. He's a top-quality defender. Okay, the question marks always around his availability and his injury history. But as an actual defender, when he's fit and he's on the pitch, he's one of the best in the Premier League. I've said a few times now, Liverpool have probably got the best quartet of centre-backs in the division, and I see no reason to change it, really. Gomez and Konate will get game time at certain points, but for tomorrow, I'd keep it as it was.
You were really impressed with Tsimikas. Just hope that plug doesn't get pulled for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, he needs to be charged up a little bit longer, doesn't he? Yeah, you just stay plugged in for a little bit longer and he'll be okay.
Yeah, no, brilliant stuff. Right, okay, Gorsty, what about the midfield three? What are you thinking?
Well, it would have been Fabinho, wouldn't it? But obviously with the sad news of his father passing away, you'd expect he probably left out on compassionate grounds, similar to Alisson Becker at the time. And I think Klopp, he'll be saying, let's not pry too much into that one, so fair enough. But it's a bit of a difficult one now, because I thought he was excellent when he came on against Norwich and really kind of shored up that midfield. So I'd imagine Henderson might come back in. Be harsh to drop Naby Keita. I thought he was very good as well last week, and if he's left out, then what's the incentive for him? Because he's had a really good game there, a chance to build and stay in the team, and if he doesn't get it, that's a bit harsh. So I'd leave him in, and then probably go with Thiago as the third man. So Henderson, Keita, Thiago.
Are you going with that, Doyley, or is that a bit of a big ask to throw both of those two in at once?
Well, if
Fabinho
had been available, obviously we would have started him, and I would have played possibly Thiago. But now the situation, I think Henderson has to play. Don't think you can play Henderson and Thiago. I think Keita, as Gorsty said, he deserves to stay in the team. And to be honest, I'd probably keep Oxlade-Chamberlain in there. I mean, Milner maybe, but I would side towards Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, Milner missed training as well yesterday, didn't he? So,
yeah,
interesting. Right, okay. What about the front three then?
Well, Salah and Mane, and then it's basically the question is between Jota and Firmino.
Yep.
And I think Firmino starts against Chelsea, so I'm going to start Jota.
Well, that's the dilemma, isn't it, for Klopp? It's Jota or Firmino, and it's probably a good one to have for a change, because they both seem to have started on song. So I'm going to go with Firmino. I think I agree with Doyley, he will play against Chelsea, but I think getting him in the team against Burnley tomorrow will be key to just continuing the good form that he's been in. 2 goals against Osasuna, a goal against Norwich. So yeah, he's looks like he's up and ready and firing already.
And hopefully Mane gets off the mark. Obviously, we saw what sort of 10,000 fans did from final game of last season against Crystal Palace. Yeah,
I think for him, actually, probably him and Firmino were probably the two who suffered the most from no fans last season. Mane actually went to see a psychologist last season because of how far removed his form was from when he's at his best, and when that's happening, he knows it, and he's thinking quite a lot about it. So I think the fans will basically give him a massive lift. He'll puff his chest out and earn his lungs, and he'll be flying, because I thought that was noticeable against Crystal Palace, actually. Mane in particular, he scored, didn't he? And I think the fans back will probably massively benefit him and Firmino.
Definitely. Right, what about scores then? Doyley, what are you saying?
I think Burnley will score. I think they always score at Anfield, but I think you look at the atmosphere, you look at the fact that players have been waiting so long to play in front of a packed Anfield, as Gorsty said, the likes of Mane kind of getting towards the peak form, having been had a bit of a rest in the summer. So I think 3-1.
Yeah, I think 3-1 as well. Actually, I think Burnley will make it tough in certain areas of the game, certain parts of it. But I just think everything's kind of accumulating for Liverpool, and there's a bit of a snowball effect, and I think that'll lend itself towards them flying off the blocks, and not just for tomorrow. I think for the next few weeks as well, they will really kind of come flying off the traps, and 3-1 I'm going with as well.
Right, someone rattling a cage away to our right. Hopefully Liverpool can rattle Burnley's at Anfield.
So
there we
that's
go.
a great segue.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have to see how it does play out. The guy with the leaf blower might also be coming around to just move us on. But that's it for this edition of the Blood Red podcast. From myself, Guy Clark, Ian Doyle and Paul Gorse. Thanks for joining us. That's all for now.